Okay, so this video, ito yung magiging parang mini rant ko dito sa Gilas Pilipinas team natin based off their performance nung last window and yung previous windows nga. And kaya lang siya mini rant kasi hindi naman talaga ako magra-rant, hindi naman ako magagalit. Hindi ko naman ibabash tong team na to. I'm not gonna say anything negative about this team because I believe in this team and I'm rooting for this team. And what I've been always saying, di ba, hindi porket sinabi ko to, ito na yung tama, di ba? Kagaya nyo lang ako na fan, na basketball fan na mayroong opinions sa mga pinapanood natin na basketball, and I hope to hear yours as well. And maaaring hindi tayo mag-agree sa isa't isa and maaaring iba yung pananaw ko sa pananaw nyo, and that's okay. I'd still like to hear yours, and let's not spread hate. Let's have a healthy conversation because marami ng hate na nangyayari dyan. Itong buong history ng Gilas na to, when they win, masaya lahat ng Pilipino, masaya ang buong bansa, masaya lahat ng fans, pero kapag natatalo, ang daming bashing, ang daming mga hate na palitan si ganito or ganito yung coaches. Let's not join that group. Instead, let's share our thoughts and opinions. So, babasahin ko lahat ng comments nyo down below. Share your thoughts down below kung ano tingin nyo yung mga dapat gawin ng Gilas. And i-share ko yung sa akin sa pamamagitan ng video na to. And i-replyan ko yung mga comments nyo as much as kaya ko. So, yung nakaraang window nga, Gilas Pilipinas went 0-2 against New Zealand. First against New Zealand sa score na 69-66, and then second is against the Boomers or yung Australia team sa score na 93-66. And sa first game ng New Zealand, medyo maalat yung laro ni Justin Brownlee, scoring only 4 points dun sa game na yon. And yun nga, ito namang identity ng Gilas team ni Coach Tim Cone is talagang hindi tayo shooter eh. On that game against New Zealand, Gilas shot 7 out of 37 from 3, which is very bad. Pero ang positive nga doon, despite JB only scoring 4 points and the whole team shooting 7 out of 37 from 3, 3 points lang yung lamang ng New Zealand sa atin, which tells you that winnable to, di ba? Pag nakakonvert lang tayo, at least 40% ng 3 natin, panalo tayo dun. Or kung hindi na shutdown si JB ng ganon, we could have won that game. Mga revelation sa team na yun, sa game na yun para sa akin, si Juan Gomez de Leaño proved that he is the next generation point guard of this team. And marami nagsasabi na Juan is not a true point guard, di ba? And marami rin nagko-comment na kailangan natin ng totoong point guard sa team na to. I believe so, pero I think Juan has hindi siya natural point guard. He's a scorer's mentality. He's more of a combo guard, but he has playmaking skills. Yeah, hindi rin naman point guard si Scottie at saka si Chris Newsome eh. So, ano bang bago, di ba, for the next gen? So yeah, Juan Gomez de Leaño being someone, he's very dynamic. Yun ang maganda sa kanya, compared kay Scottie Thompson and Chris Newsome, who was aging. Juan Gomez de Leaño is very dynamic. He has a scorer's mentality. He's athletic. He's quick. He's strong. And he's taller than Scottie. Yun yung mga madadagdag ng isang Juan Gomez de Leaño sa team na to. Si QMB naman, hindi na ako nagulat. I'm from UP. I watch UP closely and I've been to UP practices nung umuwi ako sa Pilipinas. Talagang napanood ko to si QMB and alam ko na kagad kung ano yung idadagdag niya sa team. Hindi mo siya aasahan maging Junmar even at 6'10" na ganun kagaling umiscore sa poste. No, hindi yun yung assets niya. QMB is there to provide boards, toughness, mag-set ng screens, mag-box out. And he did exactly that against this team. And ito yung mga player na parang hindi mo aayawan sa kahit anong team. Ito yung gumagawa ng dirty work and gives you toughness inside, diba? So that's QMB for me. And pagdating naman sa Australia game, si Justin Brownlee bumawi siya with 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. And QMB played well with 11 points and 7 rebounds. Halos silang dalawa lang yung magandang nilaro if we wanna consider Dwight Ramos scoring 9 points. And again, QMB being consistent, performing what he does best para sa Gilas na to. I think QMB should be a mainstay para sa Gilas. Justin Brownlee bumawi siya scoring-wise, pero ang isa sa pinaka-problema ko dito, I'm not blaming JB. Kasi dito na magsisimula yung medyo rant ko dito is because power forward natin si Justin Brownlee. And I've seen a lot of videos online. I've watched the whole game. I've watched highlights para makita ko ulit again and again. Having experience, I'm not saying I'm better than Tim Cone, pero parang sobrang hindi ko nagigets kung bakit power forward si Justin Brownlee. And kung papanoorin nyo closely, balikan nyo yung clips, balikan nyo yung games. Wala masyadong nag-mention nito dun sa mga other videos na nag-breakdown. Pero ang daming offensive rebounds ng Australia dahil power forward si Justin Brownlee. Unang-una, hindi siya bumabox out. Wala siyang effort to box out and to rebound at all. And again, hindi ko sinasabing hindi magaling si JB. I'm not blaming him. But I think he's playing out of position in that one. And it gets tougher for him to score dahil ang laki ng bantay niya. Kung inaran mo siya as 4, di ba bantayan din siya ng 4 ng kalaban. That makes it tougher for him to score. Justin Brownlee, as great as he is, and some consider him as the GOAT, I think he's one of the best, if not the best talaga. And I like JB. I like his play style, but he's aging. And Justin Brownlee is not a quick player. He's not an explosive player. He's not very athletic. So, him being smaller than sa bumabantay sa kanya at the 4 doesn't really give him a quickness advantage, especially against teams like this na Australia. And yung 4 nito magagaling din tsaka mabibilis eh. So it doesn't really give JB an advantage there offensively and pagdating sa quickness. So it just makes it harder for him to score offensively. Although he scored 20 points, that's JB. Alam naman natin yung kakayahan niyan umiscore. Pero defensively talaga, one of the reasons kung bakit ang daming offensive rebound talaga ng Australia ay dahil hindi makabox out itong si Justin Brownlee. So that's not, again, I'm not blaming JB. I don't know, maybe Coach Tim Cone should take another look at running that. I think umpisa pa lang dapat pinagsabay na si AJ Edu at si QMB, pero that's that. Wala, yun lang talaga yun. And isa sa mga bagay na parang gets ko nakakairita is yung narrative. I'm not gonna sit here and tell everyone na mali si Coach Tim Cone. I think Coach Tim Cone knows what he's doing, and he also addressed that. He acknowledged and he addressed na parang kailangan nga, he needs to go back to the drawing board and maybe change the offense and simplify it. Kasi he felt like, yun nga, kino-comment nga kasi ng maraming tao na walang shooters tong team na to, kaya ganito. And on Coach Tim Cone's defense, sabi niya, it's not that wala silang shooters, it's just that yung offense nila, hindi siya nag-generate ng quality looks para sa mga scorers nila or para sa mga shooters nila to get quality shots and to make. So me personally, as a player who has experience coaching, me as a player, as a coach, I'm not saying I'm better than Tim Cone. This is just based off my experience. Ito yung pinaka-difference ng isang coach na ang upbringing ay Pilipinas versus upbringing ay States. Although Coach Tim Cone is very well, parang sa Pilipinas na lumaki, I think ang coaching style niya is based off international coaching or yung US style of basketball, which is not bad, very systematic. It's yun ngayon, very scientific, very systematic. For example, we're a triangle. You run here, you set screen, ma-open ka, and titira ka, and they expect you to make the shot. Kasi ganoon naman ang basketball eh. From someone who had experience na mix ang upbringing ko sa basketball, I was born in Canada, but I grew up in the Philippines. I started playing basketball in the Philippines, but I started coaching and I learned coaching dito sa Canada. So, na-adapt ko yung pagiging rugged at pagiging run and gun ng Philippine style of basketball. Tapos yung foundation ko naman sa coaching is very systematic dahil nga dito ako natuto sa Canada from coaches here in Canada. So I kind of understand both. And I know where Coach Tim Cone is coming from, and I understand where the people na nagko-comment sa social media, I understand where they're coming from. Lack of shooters. There is some truth naman sa sinasabi ni Coach Tim Cone, i-acknowledge niya, and I'd like to see them try to retweak it na yun nga, yung identity ng Gilas Pilipinas is designed as a defensive team. And I felt like, okay, it worked against New Zealand. Sa Australia, it worked a little bit. Pero marami pa rin may mga lapses, ang daming open threes ng Australia doon. And I think even ang daming open threes talaga ng Australia doon. Parang anong nangyari, di ba? Pero, I guess ano pa rin yung, kita mo yung identity as a defensive team. I think half and half tama yon, but I think it doesn't hurt to add someone who specializes in shooting. Di ba? He mentioned guys like Calvin Aftana, Dwight Ramos, Juan Gomez de Leaño. Those guys are scorers, they're not shooters. And I know where Tim Cone is coming from. Given the chance, yung mga yung kayang tumira sa 3 points. Pero ang point ko, I guess ang point din ng madami is it doesn't hurt to add an actual shooter there. Someone an actual knockdown shooter, na yun lang talaga yung role niya, di ba? Yun talaga yung identity ng player na yun. Like a Jeff Chan, like an Alan Kaidik, di ba? Larry Funashare, Marshall Lassiter, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, those guys. Dwight Ramos is not a pure shooter. He's a scorer. He can shoot from the outside, but that's not what he does best. He does a little bit of everything. Same with other guys like Juan Gomez de Leaño. He's a very dynamic combo guard, can slash, do all this. He's not a shooter. So I get where he's coming from, but I don't think it hurts to add a shooter in that lineup. I would look at a guy like Arvin Tolentino. Arvin Tolentino, similar 6'5", parang Calvin of Tana, di ba? He's a shooter. And naka-adjust na siya sa international play sa Korea. When he was starting out in Korea, parang even yung coach nagrereklamo sa kanya na mabagal siya, ganito, ganyan. But he has adjusted since, yun nga, playing internationally outside of the Philippines. Bakit hindi natin siya subukan for the team? He's also former Ginebra, na I don't think he's new to the triangle offense. Yun lang naman. And ito yung player na lagi sinasabi ng marami, si Jordan Heading. Yes, I agree. Bakit hindi? Ang sa akin lang, bakit hindi i-try? Diba? Yun lang. And okay, panindigan, gets ko, continuity, ito lang yung team. But then again, nag-add na kayo ng players. Dinagay nyo na si Balti, si Troy Rosario, di ba? Si RJ Abarrien. Nag-add na kayo, wina-widen nyo na yung pool eh. Why not add like actual shooters and try? Di ba? Yun lang yung sa akin. And like I said, I agree with Tim Cone. Maybe the offense talagang hindi nag-generate ng quality looks. But then again, it really doesn't hurt to add like real shooters dun sa team and see how it goes. Yun lang yung isa dun. And in terms of having, yung mga players na naririnig ko online na parang kailangan daw palitan is si Chris Newsome, si Calvin of Tana, to give more minutes to guys like Kevin Kembao and Carl Tamayo. It's hard. I know, naiintindihan ko kung saan nanggagaling si Coach Tim Cone with these players. And gets ko rin kasi yung value nitong mga players na to, kaya kung bakit ang hirap tanggalin eh. And gets ko rin naman yung sinasabi ng mga tao na kailangan natin ng true point guard, kailangan natin ng shooter, we need more wing guys, di ba? Just to give you guys some thoughts, I agree. I'm in between eh, di ba? So kung mapapalitan si Chris Newsome, si Calvin of Tana, okay lang sa akin. I'd like to see it. Kung hindi, okay lang din sa akin, and hopefully tama si Coach Tim Cone na it's their offense na kailangan na lang i-retweak to be able to simplify it in hopes that it will give them quality looks, di ba? Pero yun nga, ano ba kasi yung mga value nitong mga players na gusto nyong matanggal? Si Chris Newsome, I understand he's aging. I think siya yung pinaka-closest sa team na to na talagang pwedeng palitan ni RJ Abarrientos and kung sino mang gusto nyo. Pero gets ko kung bakit. Just to give you guys an idea kung bakit ang hirap tanggalin ni Chris Newsome, maybe ito rin yung sentiments ni Coach Tim Cone at ng coaching staff. You know, Chris Newsome is a very good leader para sa team na to. You know, this team having no true point guard, having no Jimmy Alapag type of player needs leadership. Gabe Norwood-esque type. His defense is okay, naaasahan. He's scoring not much. Playmaking, so-so, di ba? And he's aging also. Hindi siya maasahan sa scoring. At this point ng career niya, hindi na siya sobrang athletic kagaya ng dati. Pero I think ang value kasi ni Chris Newsome dito sa team na to is leadership. Kung papanoorin nyo siya, i-observe nyo lang si Chris Newsome outside of game, hindi lang sa games. I-observe nyo sa bench, how he interacts with players, how he talks to sa mga kalaban niya post-game. This guy is siya yung pinaka-vocal dun sa bench eh. He's the one who brings this team together. Siya yung vocal, siya yung leader, siya yung locker room presence ng team na to, which is very important for any basketball team. And this is outside of the playing field ng basketball court. So, yun yung isang bagay na try nyo lang pansinin from Chris Newsome outside of the games. And para sa akin bilang coach, malaking value din sa team yun. Kaya naiintindihan ko kung bakit ang hirap din tanggalin para sa akin si Chris Newsome, although I wanna replace him. Kung may magic man sa mundo na yung leadership role at pagiging locker room presence ni Chris Newsome ay ma-apply natin kay RJ Abarrientos, I would take that obviously. Pero you know, that's that. Yun yung Chris Newsome para sa akin, and yun lang, I would like to share that sa mga nanonood, di ba? Try nyo lang, pansinin nyo yung body language niya, the way he communicates, kahit hindi nyo naririnig yung sinasabi niya off the bench. Kita nyo na siya yung talagang vocal sa team na to, siya yung locker room presence. And yun din yung sinasabi ng mga teammates niya eh. Kung manonood kayo ng mga interviews outside, random interviews of the Gilas Pilipinas players, yun din yung sinasabi nila about Chris Newsome. He's a very good locker room guy. And next is Scottie Thompson, too small for the international game, walang shooting, walang scoring, di totoong point guard. Yun yung sinasabi ng mga tao. And as much as I agree, hindi siya totoong point guard, hindi talaga siya ganung kasing scorer. Ang pinaka-asset talaga kay Scottie dito is his defense and yung rebounding niya for his size and for his position. I don't think he's gonna go anytime because Ginebra yan eh. Yan ang nagtatakbo ng offense nito ni Coach Tim Cone. Yan ang best player neto ni Coach Tim Cone sa Ginebra, sa mother team niya. So I don't think Scottie is gonna go anytime soon. So that's that. Scottie Thompson. Calvin of Tana is someone na medyo so-so ako eh. Ang galing. Dami ang comments naman kay Calvin of Tana is ang galing sa PBA, sa FIBA Baldog. Well, first of all, it's really hard. International game and FIBA is two different kinds of ball game. It's not. It's a harder competition sa FIBA. Personally, isa si Calvin Oftana sa mga favorite players ko coming into the PBA. He's a 6'5", legit wing who can shoot and has defense, 'di ba? Saan mo makukuha yan? That's why he's the best TNT player right now, 'di ba? Sobrang galing niya sa TNT. And internationally, he's a spot-up shooter, he's a 3-and-D. Basically, he expects to make shots on 2 attempts per game, 'di ba? And I cannot blame him, hindi ko siya masisi, although yes, baldugan talaga siya pagdating sa international. Same with yung problem kay Pogoy on previous Gilas teams with Coach Chot Reyes, 'di ba? Sobrang baldog pero sa PBA ang galing. Pero you guys have to understand, sa PBA this guy gets like 10 to 15 shots a game, 'di ba? And mahirap 'yun kung sanay ka na meron kang 10 to 15 shots, warm ka, mainit ka, naiintindihan ng team mo na ikaw hot ka kahit sa'yo umiikot yung offense. As opposed to you're expected to make two shots per game, 'di ba? And play defense. Mahirap 'yun. It's hard to get shots like that. And para sa akin kasi talaga yung player profile nito ni Calvin Oftana, hindi naman talaga siya spot-up shooter. Feeling ko mas maaasahan siya to do something else. He has defense. He has decent defense. He can score. Hindi spot-up shooter internationally because wala. I think a guy like, Arvin Tolentino would be a better replacement for him. Or try. Pero kung di siya matatanggal dyan, I would understand because sabi nga ni Coach Tim Cone, he thinks that their offense is not generating them quality shots. So I would like to see them again try something new, and hopefully pag na-simplify nga talaga yung offense nila, we'll see kung ganun pa rin yung performance nitong mga shooters ng Gilas Pilipinas. Very critical di ba? Maraming nagsasabi, pasok dyan si Heading. For me, i-try lang. A guy like Arvin Tolentino, swap mo with Calvin Oftana for one window, isama mo siya sa pool with training. Try lang, feel ko lang, kasi same naman sila, 6'5", di ba? I think Arvin is more of a shooter. Arvin is a shooter. Maybe defensively, mas magaling si Oftana ng onte, pero shooting-wise, yun naman yung trabaho niya. Try lang, di ba? Yun yung pitch ko for me personally. And ang isa pa is, I think it's time for Junmar to go. And I'm sorry for all the Junmar lovers out there. I appreciate Junmar, the 9-time PBA MVP. He's the GOAT, arguably. Sobrang lakas sa PBA. The international game is just a different ball game, man. Hindi talaga mahirap You're up against big guys who can run the floor, who can shoot from the outside. Kahit gaano ka kagaling sa poste, liability ka pa rin sa defense. Alam ko marami nagko-comment dyan sa social media. Meron pa mga pro players or mga former pro players na parang bigyan daw ng time, magbigay ka ng play kay Junmar. Kaya daw ganyan yung nilalaro kasi hindi binababa. Ang hirap. Again, on a coach's perspective, di ba? Kahit mag-run ako kahit lahat ng offense namin, itakbo ko around Junmar, tumiscore siya ng 20 or 40 dyan on low percentage on a very slow basketball game. Liability pa rin siya sa defense. Mahirap siyang iwanan sa team na yon kasi lagi lang siyang ipipick and roll, lagi siyang aatakihin sa pick and roll. Ang gagawin mo lang, makipag-trade ka ng points, ikaw, poste, half-court play ka habang sila run and gun, 3-point shot. I don't think you can win ball games like that against a fast-paced team. Sorry dun sa mga pro players, hindi ko papangalanan, at yung mga tao sa social media na nagsasabi, no, you're just wrong. I'm sorry. Yun lang, di ba? Yun lang yung kailangan mong tandaan Kahit ipaikutin ko yung buong offense ko around Junmar sa international, hindi ma-change nun yung fact na liability siya sa defense. Lagi siyang aatakihin ng point guard and wala kayong magagawa dahil gusto mong ibabad si Junmar. And I think Junmar needs to go. He needs to retire. He's done much. Mas fitting. If you have guys like UMB and Kai Soto back in the lineup as your 5-man and AJ Edu si Balti. Balti is someone who fits the international game because he's quick, he can shoot the 3, he can defend the 3. He is someone between parang Carl Tamayo who can play the 4 and occasionally the 3. Pero in this case ng Gilas, baka 4 si Justin Baltasar. And Carl Tamayo, I would run him as a 3. I would like to give more runs to Carl Tamayo. Marami rin nagsasabi na inconsistent daw si Carl Tamayo. I get that. I think Carl Tamayo just need more runs. And I wouldn't, di ko susukuan nitong si Carl Tamayo. I've seen this guy play and I know what this guy can do. And he's running for MVP sa KBL, di ba? That's an international league and that is not the PBA, di ba? So the fact that he's playing well there, he's dominating that league, that means he can play at the international level. So just give him some runs, build nyo lang yung confidence ito. This guy is someone who can shoot, plays very physical, has post moves, quick enough. Di ba? He might not be the best defender at the wing position, maybe at the 4, but this guy plays very physical and has a lot of skill set for a young guy. Same with KQ, maalat lang talaga si KQ this both tournament. I have nothing for KQ. Talagang pangit lang ng nilaro niya eh. He had some minutes, pero yun talaga. Pero Kevin Kembao showed some flashes nung previous windows on what he can do. He's still very young. He's someone who can score, can defend, who can play make for his position as a 3. He is someone ano pa rin eh, he's one of the futures at nung team na to. Ito yung mga players na hindi ko pa susukuan sana dahil medyo bata pa tong mga to and meron talagang mga skill set eh. So, I guess yun lang for now. Meron ba akong na-miss out na mga comment ng mga tao about this Gilas Pilipinas team? Comment down below, re-replyan ko na lang kayo. And kung meron akong sinabi dito na hindi kayo agree, okay lang yan. Comment down below. Pag-usapan natin, discuss natin, let's have a healthy conversation. Like I said kanina, paulit ko na sinasabi, parehas lang tayong fan ng basketball na nagsha-share ng thoughts and opinions natin about sa performance ng team natin. Diba? Okay lang yan na hindi tayo mag-agree. Okay lang sa akin na iba yung take mo sa take ko. I would like to hear your thoughts. I would like to pick your brains as well. And yeah, yun lang guys. Kita-kits sa next video.